cut the wire with this?
We've got other wire cutters. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. Welcome to the beginning of the Beading Dreams streaming week with our crystal sun catcher. This is a per customer request project. So if the client who requested this is watching, awesome. Otherwise we'll send her the YouTube link later. But it's actually really interesting. She doesn't want to make a, hey Ace, she doesn't actually want to make a sun catcher. Her project, which is super ambitious, is she wants to make a rain chain, which I feel like would be an amazing thing to do. Hey Pam, welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday everybody. But of course we don't really have time to do a whole rain chain that's like taller than me on a 1 hour stream. So we're going to do a sun catcher, which is going to give you guys, hey, if anybody wants to make a crystal rain chain, this is going to give you all of the techniques that you need in order to do that. So let's talk tools and supplies for this evening's tutorial. All right, so you are going to, of course, need some wire. So for the majority of our project today, we're going to be using 18 or 20 gauge wire. I am using, oh goodness, Lori, that is like that's some like next level multitasking right there. Lori is making dinner and mediating introductions of her new kitten Turbo to her other cats, and also watching this stream. So good luck, and yay, Pam got her box. Woohoo! Yes, we've got a new employee. That's not the right word, but we've got a new person involved with shipping. So hopefully shipping will be a little bit more efficient from now on. So happy that we were able to send so many boxes out to so many people on Monday. That's amazing. All right, so again, tools and supplies, back to that. So wire, 18 or 20 gauge bronze wire. Copper wire will also work. Copper wire, of course, in the elements will patina to green, which is sometimes desirable, sometimes not, so that's totally up to you. You could use basically any wire that you have on hand. You could even use sterling silver wire if you want to be like, whose chicken coop was that, Heather?
Oh, my Uncle David.
Yeah, if you want to be like Uncle David, who had the sterling silver chicken coop, you could totally use sterling silver wire, but I think bronze is a good choice for this, bronze or copper. So 20 or 18 gauge bronze or copper wire, you're going to need about 4 feet or so. That kind of depends on how cray-cray you get with the wire wrapping here. So, I mean, this is kind of logical. The more times you go around your crystal, the more wire you're going to need. So I used about 4 feet for this little sun catcher, but I would, if I were you, have some extra on hand just in case you decide to get crazy with the Cheese Whiz. You're also going to need a little bit of 14 or 16 gauge wire. That's going to be for the hook at the top, which of course is how you're going to hang this thing. Our UPS guy is going to hate us tomorrow. Poor Doug. We tried to butter him up with cookies. It was like a combination buttering up and thank you, because he did something awesome for us like a week ago, and then he's going to have to offload 5 really heavy boxes for us tomorrow. So Carol May, who's amazing, made him chocolate chip cookies. Hi, Amy! How are you?
Hello,
you're awake from your nap? So is like Smee Beheeby so, or no, Smee not Beheeby so? Smee on her couch? Question. Anyway, so yeah, our poor UPS guy is probably going to be grumpy at us tomorrow because of the large boxes, but that means that the fabulous Findings Trunk Show is starting. If we can get everything unpacked on Friday, that means that Saturday we should have a finding stream for y'all, which is going to be super exciting. That means clasps in sterling, vermeil, and bronze. That means beads. That means components. Smee on a couch is on the oh my god. Smee on a couch. I love it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Smeeby there be so.
Smeeby there be snow. But soon Smeeby he be so. We don't have a couch here anymore, so that doesn't work exactly, but I love it. So yeah, findings on Saturday. Clasps, components, beads, all kinds of cool stuff, sterling silver, gold, vermeil, bronze. It's going to be freaking fantastic. It's going to take over this entire dang store. So if you're local in Dallas, you should really stop by and see it. But for now, I'm going to continue talking about supplies for this evening's tutorial. You're going to need some crystals. All right, so I have these lovely big crystal points. So the technique I'm going to teach you tonight for wrapping the crystals is really going to work well with things that are long and skinny. Okay, it's not going to work as well with things that are kind of, you know, big and chunky that don't have holes in them. So just to be clear, these have holes. You can see the wire goes through them. These do not. So I've got 3 crystals that have no holes, and these are natural crystal points. And then I am going to have 3 quartz crystal beads that do have holes in them. So these are drilled, and we're going to wire wrap right through that beautiful hole right there with our 20 gauge wire. And then for the bottom of your sun catcher, you can use whatever the heck you want, but I have these awesome amethyst pendants, and I had 1 left, so I'm going to go ahead and use that on my sun catcher today. So I basically am going to make a replica of my sample. And then as far as tools go, you're just going to need your 3 basics. That means you're going to need your chain nose pliers. Those are the flat ones. You're going to need your round nose pliers. Those are, not surprisingly, the round ones. You're going to need a good sturdy wire cutter. And you are also going to need a ring stick or dowel, large marker, Sharpie, like, you just need a big round object. Preferably one that's not attached to a human. Sorry, my brain, I don't know why my brain's going there this early, but apparently it's that kind of day. So let's start by cutting our wire for the tutorial. We're going to take our 20 or 18 gauge wire, and you really can use either. Ace caught my joke. Cheers.
I wasn't listening.
That's okay. Nobody really needed to hear that. So Ace heard it, and now we're going to just move right on past the fact that I went there that early in our streaming night, and we're going to go ahead and cut 4 feet of our, you've got 4 feet already there, of our 20 or 18 gauge wire. And again, it doesn't really matter 20 or 18 gauge. And that is, to be clear, 20 gauge or 18 gauge. So I am using 20 gauge. Why am I using 20 rather than 18? Because our spool of 18 gauge bronze wire is missing. There's a really good chance it's missing because I took it home for some project and then I lost it in my house. Like, I'm not even gonna lie about that, but that's why, that is literally the only reason I'm using 20 over 18. Now, if you are a person who has, well, hi Arun, welcome to the stream. There's a Molly here, she's waving.
I don't know if you can see that.
You can see there's her, that's Molly's hand, she's waving at you. But anyway, so pros and cons real quick before we get into the project of 18 versus 20 gauge. So for anybody who's not familiar with wire gauges, the higher the number, the smaller the wire. So 20 gauge is thinner than 18 gauge. So he says hi Molly, and a little and a little heart, or not a little heart, a little flower. And also ASO says hi Molly's hand. Because we have our Molly live studio. We have our Molly live studio audience with us in the Beading Dreams stream tonight, or on the Beading Dreams stream tonight. But so, as your number gets higher, your wire gets thinner. So 20 gauge wire is thinner than 18 gauge wire. So that means that it's more malleable. It's easier to wrap around your crystals and kind of conform to them. So if your crystals are of a reasonable size, like, you know, couple 3 inches long, 20 gauge wire, more than sufficient. Now if you're doing some kind of a monster of a sun catcher or rain chain, per the client who originally requested this project, you may want to do 18 gauge because it's sturdier, but it's going to be harder to manipulate. And this also speaks to if you have some hand issues. if manipulating wire isn't necessarily your cup of tea, then don't go for the 18, go for the 20. And also, even if the 20 gauge bronze is a little much for you, you may want to go with 20 gauge copper, because copper is softer than bronze and easier to manipulate. So it's basically just all about what makes the project easiest for you. So I like to present you all of the options, and then you can decide what you're going to do. So we're going to just start with the top of our sun catcher, and we're going to go downwards. Excuse me. Sorry, that was impolite to do on stream, but I did it anyway. So we're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down. So that means we're going to start with our round nose pliers, and we're going to start with a basic wire wrapped loop in our 20 gauge wire. Now, I am in fact working with my entire 4-foot piece of 20 gauge wire here. Now, if you feel like you're going to hit yourself in the face with this wire, you can absolutely section it out into, like, you know, 1.5 or 2-foot segments. The thing about, you know, wire working and wire wrapping is the longer the section of wire you're working with, generally speaking, the less the waste you have, but it can get awkward. And Molly definitely was watching me do, hi Sophia! Molly was definitely watching me do one of next week's stream projects earlier today and try not to hit myself in the face with my piece of wire. So I'm working off of my 4-foot piece, but if you want to chop it up into sections, that is totally fine. So grab your round nose pliers, and you're going to place your round nose pliers on your wire. You're going to grab so that you've got about 2 inches, an inch and a half to 2 inches above your pliers, and you're going to grab at the almost the fattest part of your pliers. Like, go as fat. Wow, so many things, so many autonomous nervous system responses on the stream tonight.
Ooh, that's such a good word.
Autonomous?
Yes.
Yay! Heather said I used a good word. That's, considering that she has a gigantic vocabulary, I'm taking that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
So I want to go as far down onto my pliers pretty much as I can go without getting on square parts, and I'm going to make a basic wire wrapped loop. So I'm a right-handed person. My pliers are in my right hand. I'm going to take my left hand, and I'm going to go push my wire away from me. That makes a 90-degree